All right. Boy, problems here just don't stop. Let me open up another YouTube and go live because this one seems to be giving me some problems here. So it should connect. And hopefully we're back in action. There we go, one concurrent view. Hopefully we're back in action now. Alright guys, so let me make sure that everything's working. We're back up and running. I got the aircraft back to the pushback state super quick. We just need to, hopefully we don't crash again here. I don't know if the better pushback holding that long was the situation, but I need to get ground clearance, ground 1217.
We've got the field in sight.
26 Tango, thank you. Clear visual approach from A35.
Clear visual 35, 26 Tango.
Alright, here we go. Oh, we got to get the ATIS as well. Bummer. Like, hopefully this... We can't push back onto an active taxiway. I don't want to get in trouble, so...
Is requested. Read back all runway assignments and hold short instructions. Advise on initial contact. You have information India.
So it's still India.
Seattle-Tacoma International Airport. ATIS information Juliet.
Juliet now.
3 Zulu. Windcom. Visibility 10. Ceiling 4,100 overcast. Temperature 14. 2.9er. Altimeter 3009er. Arriving and departing runway 16 center. 16.
All right, so we're still south.
Right. Visual approach.
Delta Brown, Delta 318 Heavy, requesting pushback onto Whiskey, nose facing north.
Delta 318 Heavy, turn your transponder on, please. Push back onto Bravo's route.
Okay, so transponder's on, pushback approved onto actually Bravo for Delta 318. All right, so
26 Tango, connect Salt Lake Tower 118.
parking brake is released, man. Let's get out of here.
And you may start at 26 Tango.
And there's beacon. There we go. Let's go up top now and get the rest of our stuff on, like our APU. Sorry guys, I'm not even looking at the chat right now. I'm just cooking through this simply because we had
Salt Lake Tower, Phenom 5826.
a crash,
Approach 35.
and but I'm so determined to get this stream done that we're not letting any stinking crash determine our future.
35, clear to land, 26 Tango, good evening.
Alright, looks like everything up top is good. We'll turn those packs on a little bit later. Everything is on here, seatbelts to auto. And let's come over here. Let me check the chat really quick. Alright, back in it. Chief Sim Yo-Yo, I'm only passing through, out with fam, can't stay, have dinner, reservations, LOL. Well, thanks for checking in, Chief. It's already been a rare day, but that's the flight sim world. So anybody checking this out, there is a part 1 of this stream because my whole thing crashed. I had to start the computer and everything. So let's see, before takeoff, let's see, doors are closed. We'll start our safety briefing now. And yeah, let me make sure everything is working here. Everything is looking good. Let's see here. Blah, sounds are good. Just going to double check and make sure you guys are able to hear the ATC. Alright, so we have to set our trims to 5.75. Alright, now I know my better pushback is messed up, so we got to go stop pushback, and I got to do some rudder action here.
Please take a few moments now to locate your nearest exit. In some cases,
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright, parking brake is set.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Just waiting for ATC to talk so I can see if you guys have them. Alright guys, we're going to go ahead and get the engine started at this point before anything else happens. Okay, so we're going to come up top, and remember our auto start was to on, so you're just going to put this into the start position, and let's click this little dot right here on the right panel, and we're going to click this engine piece. Now we can see we got rotation on N2. Throwing in that fuel.
And then assist the other person. Keep your
Let's go outside and get a quick look here. Now that we're pushed back to the gate, again, folks, check out part 1. That will start the briefing with pushback from this gate here.
On the right.
You can see that engine's pretty loud there.
Ensure your feet are flat on the floor. A life vest is located in a pouch under your seat.
All right, you can see she's rolling right there.
When instructed to do so.
It's a little splotchy because the frames are probably hurting because of the scenery so heavy.
Pass the straps around your waist and adjust
Flight director on, LNAV on, VNAV on. We already got our heading. Let's get us back to the 230 mark here.
If you need to refill the vest, blow into the mouthpieces.
All right, we're gonna come up top and see if that switch has extinguished itself, which it hasn't, so that engine's still in the start. There we go. We're gonna put it to continuous. And of course, let's start the left engine. All right. Ooh, we got some freezing there. Let's keep our fingers crossed, guys. It crashes next time. It just wasn't meant to be today. All right, we're waiting on this to come up. All right, we're good enough to introduce that fuel. We can see the generators are switching over there. And I'm just going to go to a different view and put on the ATIS and see if that comes in.
Read back all runway assignment.
Okay, that's all I wanted. Let's get the runway or the towers 19.9. All right, 19.9, looking good there. And I'll show you guys how to do the checklist here, even though we're just going to get out of here because of the crash.
Tower.
Let's see, on, looking good. We got that to weather. All right, let's get our flap set. We're taking off flaps 5. We're going to make sure it's selected, indicated. Okay, our trims right here. We need to get 575 on the trims. 575 there on the trims, roughly. And of course, we also need to do our flight controls check. So you're going to come and here, we'll just come down to the center here. Oops, wrong one. All right, pull up. You can see those arrows on the elevator. Pull down. Aileron left. Aileron right. Neutral. Rudder left. And rudder right. Neutral. All right, there we go. So we're good to go. V speeds have been taken out. Center gravity is 26%, 5.75. And yeah, let us not belabor this. We got 9,000 set in the MCP. We're going to do a VNAV climb. We'll do our clock, nav on there. And yeah, let's go back to the checklist. And let's see, closed doors, safety seats for takeoff.
Cabin crew, please take your seats for takeoff.
All right, we're going to get the cabin crew seats for takeoff, of course. Go back to the normal menu. And let's do the after start checklist. And we'll look at that in a minute. In the meantime, I know there are some other items that we got to do. Let's get our packs on, of course. And get our trim air on. Circulation fans. Let's get the temperature to auto. And let's set to the temperature there. Everything here on that panel looks good. Everything is here and on and present that panel. We'll check for, got to get our pressurization set. And we got our landing altitude in there, which should already be good to go. We'll double check that in the air. And we'll get this to continuous, of course. And we'll do a recall. And make sure we have nothing else. The recall button is right over here. All right, nothing to recall, and that's all on, and that's all good. And we are good to taxi at this point. We'll call for taxi here in a second.
77, connect Albuquerque Center
All right, let's make sure we are still on ground. 1217, there we go. It's out of ground. Delta 318 Heavy with the information with weather is ready to taxi.
West 3977 Albuquerque Center. Good evening.
India to Juliet.
Delta 318, Seattle ground, runway 16 left, taxi via Bravo Charlie.
Taxi via Bravo Charlie, Delta 318 Heavy.
Yeah, just confirm that's going to 16 left.
Going to 16 left for Delta 318 Heavy. Alright guys, so let's roll up out of here, man. I feel like if we stay here too longer, we're going to get a crash. So taxi lights are all on. We're good to go. Parking brake is released. The trims are good to go. Let's get rolling here. So Bravo to Charlie, so we're going to go all the way down. Full length of the runway is actually Charlie, so he gave us full length. And we're going to get out of here, guys. I actually pushed back onto Whiskey, but he's giving us Bravo here. So Bravo is just the outer one here. We'll take that all the way down to Charlie. Lights on, everything is looking official. I'll check you guys out in the chat here in a second. Alright, last check, once we slow down, will be the toe brake check. Let's see where we're at in this seat. This should be good enough for takeoff. Alright guys, flying time is about 1 hour and 58 minutes. And we got flaps 5. Let's go ahead and get our parking brake or auto brake to RTO, and let's arm the auto throttles. Not much to do right here with the checklist, guys. We're just going to get out of here, man, because there's been such a ride this morning. I mean, already with the whole crash and everything. So let me check you guys out in the chat. Green light. Yo, you back? Cool. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm back. Green light. Whether you guys like it or not. And we're just hoping for a good stream here. Alright, we got everything set up here. Like I said, V speeds are confirmed. Nice little taxi going on here. Slide a little bit further back. There we go. So once we get in there, we'll have plenty of cruising time. And you know, this is the second part of the full flight tutorial. So what does that mean? That means that I'm going to look over the checklist while we're at the sky, because I didn't do it here, guys. We had a crash, so you'll see two of the same thumbnail on a live. That's for this one, and I wanted to just pick it up right where we left off. So we were pretty much ready to push back when we had the crash. So that was kind of an issue. Tower is 119.9, which of course we have in there. Here we'll switch it over, and our departure frequency is 1204. I think once we get out of this area and this heavy scenery, hopefully we won't have any type of crash. Alright, we're switched over to tower. One 204. Doing some multitasking, guys, so we can get out of here. Laps 5. Alright. that's Delta. He said Charlie, which means that's
Payne clearance delivery, Skyhawk 112 Victor Victor
Well, linked.
IFR Arlington, request clearance.
112 Victor Victor, Payne clearance. Good evening, clear to the Arlington Airport P6 departure, then it's filed, maintain 2000, expect 3000. 5 minutes after departure, departure frequency 120.4, squawk 4145.
112 Victor Victor Arlington, Payne
Market
6
break is
has
set.
filed 2000, expect 3000 in 5 minutes, 120.4, squawk 4145.
2 Victor Victor,
We'll let that readback be correct. Seattle Tower, Delta 318 Heavy on Charlie, holding short 16 left, ready for departure.
Delta 318 Heavy, Seattle Tower, good evening, the wind is calm, runway 16 left, clear for takeoff.
16 left, clear for takeoff for Delta 318 Heavy. Alright guys, so we got our clearance. Let us ride up out of here. Market brake is released. Landing lights on. Strobe on. Alright. Auto throttle on. And of course, as we make the turn, we'll hit the clock. Clock here has officially been started, guys. We are ready for departure. Alright, we're going to line up nice and smooth. Runway 16 left, folks.
Payne ground, Skyhawk 112 Victor Victor, Boeing ramp with Zulu weather, IFR Arlington, ready for taxi.
This aircraft has very powerful engines, so we're definitely going to have to watch our speed on takeoff.
16 right taxi by Alpha.
16 right the Alpha, 2 Victor, thanks.
Alright. Setting takeoff power, stabilizing at 40%. Past 40%. Takeoff power is set. Takeoff power set, airspeed alive. 80 knots. One. You rotate. Back nice and easy. Positive rate. Here coming up. Alright, bring that speed back. Because if we don't, we're going to have troubles. Alright guys, we're just going to fly this departure. Nice and easy on that speed. Autopilot connected. Oh, it flaps up completely. And we have VNAV.
112 Victor Victor, Payne Tower, runway 16 right clear for takeoff.
Alright. Kind of sloppy, but okay. Over to Seattle departure, Delta 318.
And the other aircraft calling transmit nothing static.
Seattle departure, Delta 318 is 3,800, climbing 9,000.
Delta 318 after Seattle departure, air contact, climb and maintain 15,000.
15,000, Delta 318 heavy. Alright, we're going up to 150 or flight level 15,000. Gonna bust it through some clouds there, a little stutter. It's all the frames from the aircraft as well as the scenery. So I'm just gonna move my head super slow. We're gonna turn the runway turn off lights off, as well as the taxi. come up top, one thing we forgot to turn off was the APU. So we can go ahead and get that shut down. Turn the APU bleeds off. So now we are out of the Seattle area and on our way. Still some stuttering there, but that's because we have these cloud coverage.
Aircraft calling transmit.
Gear is up, RTO's off. Let's disarm the speed brake. Speed brake is disarmed. Gear up, flaps are up and clean. And guys, we are on our way. .10,000 feet. The aircraft is going to pitch down as it does its turn so it can pick up its speed. You can go ahead and turn those landing lights off, folks.
Delta 318 Heavy, connect Seattle Center 125.1.
Seattle Center 25.1. We'll see Delta 318 Heavy. Alright guys, 25.1. Seattle Center, Delta 318 Heavy, it's 10,400, climbing 15,000.
Delta 318 Heavy, Seattle departure, radar cutter, Seattle center, climb maintain level 370.
The flight level 370, Delta 318 Heavy. Alright, up to flight level 370, aircraft is climbing. It was just picking up some speed there, and now the climb is back initiated. Best climb possible in VNAV speed. Double check, lights are off, flaps are up and clean. And yeah, now we got to do some announcements, of course. Continue to climb. I think potentially part of the problem on that last crash was that scenery was so heavy on the frames that there was something that not Microsoft, but we got another message here on the annunciator there, so let's go ahead and turn those off to normal now for our start ignitions. Turn the APU generator off because it's no longer on. And guys, I'm not even going to do a flyby. We got to get far enough to see that's the weather is kind of messing with us. So we're going to kind of get out of the weather before we start doing a whole bunch of different views in here, because that most certainly looks like it will freeze it. Alright guys, let's check a look at the chat here. Hopefully everything is going well.
No, that's fine. Stay with me now. Just make sure you don't make it on your own.
And we can get rid of the we are rolling. Got rid of those flight controls for you. About 7 minutes here into the flight, and let us continue to do a little bit of this. I'm not going to put any music on until we get to our full cruise and get out of this weather. I don't even want anything else adding into my computer having to work, which is a pretty robust system. Like I said, it's just can't wait to get my i9. This is the i7 10th generation Intel Asus motherboard with the GTX. I believe it's a 1080 or 1090 graphics card from NVIDIA. The system's all right. Obviously, there's better out there, so I'm going to be getting the i9 probably in the next couple weeks. It's time. We're at 15,003, climbing all the way up. Aircraft's climbing about 1,600 feet per minute. One thing that we can take a peek at is our VNAV profile. Not me just getting in trouble. Alright, so on the legs, it's got us jogging, being there at flight level 370. We'll just let the aircraft do its thing. Just looking for 18,000 or flight level 180 so that we can get rid of our altimeter and put it into the standard mode. Then we can start talking about checklists and the rest of the cool stuff on the aircraft. There we go. You see that weather from Active Sky Next updating. So again, if you're just joining us, this is actually part 2 of the live stream. Part 1, we were doing well, getting ready to push back. We were speeding along, and the sim unfortunately crashed on us. And it wasn't just a part where I could restart the simulator. It was basically a part where I had to restart my whole computer. And when it does that, it takes forever for X-Plane to even load on the initial load. But we are up and at 'em, so for all intents and purposes, for those that are going to watch this in the recorded version or the post-stream, you just finish stream 1, you just jump on stream 2. We pretty much left off right where we picked up right where we left off, if you will. Captain Shaquille Oatmeal is streaming, so I'll be kind of checking out some of his stuff as we fly. It looks like the it's like getting out of that Seattle-Tacoma scenery area has made it easier on the frames now that we're further out. You can just see over here top of a large volcano as we turn direct Jinmo. 19,100 and climbing. Everything looks stable so far. Alright, here's where you want to come in and check pressures. Of course, we don't have any warnings or alerts, but this is where we're going to just start going through the aircraft. We need to double check our fuel again, make sure we don't have anything in the center tanks. So the way we do that, we're going to come over here and click on the fuel. And as you can see here, we don't have any fuel in the center tanks, and we just have our fuel in our left main and right main. Dave McKee says this is Mount Rainier, is what Dave says. So that's Mount Rainier right there. Let's go back and get a look at the airplane's banking, but let me set up a little bit. Should be able to see it. Mount Rainier in the house. I did see that as well when I was in the Seattle-Tacoma area during many years ago when I was in some training there for the military. Alright, coming right up on flight level 210. I'm getting a little hungry. Might have to request the Commander-in-Chief, aka the wife, to humbly, por favor, might have to bring me a snack if you're listening, honey. Getting a little hungry, tengo hambre. All the pressure, you know, from the crashing of the machine to the restart is a lot. But I'm just messing around, guys. All right, welcome to the stream, Binga. And Binga says he loves that plane, the 777. And OMG is what he says. And everybody, thanks for riding along right now. We had a little snafu at the beginning with a sim crash, which led to a full computer restart, which that's never a good feeling as a streamer when you've done so much work to get everything going and then it just turns around and of course it had to be one of the more complex aircrafts. Any other aircraft usually is not this heavy on the frames, but it's such a detailed simulation that it is. Dave McKee says, be right back, gotta land. All right, Dave, take your time. We'll be in the air for easily another hour and 42 minutes. Total flying time today is 1 hour and 58 minutes. Binga has a question. Shoot your question, Binga. Hopefully I have the answer. Hopefully. So we'll wait for Binga's question, of course. And of course now we're turning direct Jogan. You guys can see the top of the climb. Did you download the game on Steam or the digital download? He's referring to X-Plane. How did I get it? Out of the box version, or went straight to xplane.org, or you know, whatever medium I used it, or did I get it from Steam? This one, although I am a big fan of Steam, Benga, I got this version as a digital download right from the horse's mouth, from the X-Plane source. You can even go on xplane.org and download it. So I do not have the Steam version, but I do have several simulations that are Steam, including American Truck Simulator and Euro Truck Simulator, and an old DCS Falcon game is Steam. So I understand Steam if you have any questions as well. But to answer your question fully, this is a regular digital download straight from the horse's mouth. I didn't use Steam at all. Binga says, oh nice, same. Dave McKee says, I use the Steam version. Awesome. Yeah, and nothing wrong with the Steam version, of course. Steam version is just fine. You know, it's really personal preference on how you want to download it. I really do like Steam's platform, and it's also got the cloud, obviously. So Steam is pretty good to get into your games from. You just have to understand where it downloads and what directories to go look for, files and all that stuff where things are located. Because you will, a lot of the games in Steam, you will have to mess with config files like ATS, American Truck Simulator, Euro Truck Simulator. In order to make certain things happen, you have to go and mess with config files. Benga says, I gotta restart my PC, be right back. Hey, no worries, Benga. I know you guys see that on the first part of this stream, that was definitely my issue. So we're in Seattle Center's airspace at 125.1. Everything is going good here. Transponders on 4623.
Look 318, LAX Seattle Center 135.15.
Okay, over to Seattle Center 35.15 for Delta 318 Heavy. Alright, so 35.15. is what we need. 35.15. You guys check me, 135150. Let's go ahead and look at our altitude for a correct report. Good evening, Seattle Center, Delta 318 Heavy, currently flight level 262, going up to flight level 370.
Delta 318, Seattle Center.
Alright, so that's always awesome. Let's go ahead and put our weather radar on here. And we'll just leave it right there, tilted 0, but we can most certainly angle that up as well. And we can get rid of, let's see, those look like they're, we'll get rid of the waypoints, and we'll leave that on there for right now. These are VORs, this is battleground, so we'll leave those VORs on there. And as it were, take a look over here. We've got a nice another peak. You can see the skies have kind of cleared up, so we do have some visibility, which is what we expected, as well as we expect that wind off the right wing, as we talked about in the first part, once we looked at our flight plan and took a look at what weather we could expect. So the winds are out of the west at 49 knots, so it's pushing us right off our right wing. And you can kind of see that. You look here, the aircraft is actually yawing because there is the exact 12 o'clock of where the airplane's going. So you can see our nose is yawing a little bit to the right, or we're yawing to the right to compensate for the wind pushing us, which is off our right side, pushing us left. That's kind of how that works out, folks. Alright, let's go ahead. Turn him up and get some music on, folks. I'll wait till we get a little further away from the scenery. I don't want even my music jamming us up. Try to get that on now. Bear with me because I have to pull it back up. I did have it up, but obviously for obvious reasons, which includes a computer crash. I wouldn't say computer crash, I would say a sim crash, which when I tried to restart it, it was not having it, so therefore I needed to restart my whole computer. Alright, so the aircraft is climbing ever so modestly, and of course that's due to weight. We were pretty heavy. Binga says, yo, I am back. Welcome back, Binga. And Dave, if you're here, I hope you had a good landing. And if you're not here yet, Dave, I hope wish you much luck on your landing. Binga says, I think my stupid Steam works now. That's good, Binga, man. You know what? I don't wish any, bad streaming situation for anybody or with their software, such as Steam. Like that's coming in kind of low. Let me know how well you guys can hear the music. If not, I will up the volume, as well as let me know how you hear my voice versus aircraft noises versus agency versus the music. Dave McKee says, just taxiing now. Hope you had a great landing, Dave. Dave is truly a multitasker. Look at that beautiful engine. Look at that beautiful engine. And we do have a visitor here. Dave McKee says, one of my best, if I'm to be honest. Wow, Dave. So tell us about your landing, man. What was the rate there? Your voice and everything is fine. No need to fix anything. Thank you, Bingo. Let me introduce you guys to one of my co-pilots. She's always in here with me. And she likes to fly with me quite a bit. This is our lovely Cat. She's 7 years old. So she's always in here flying with me. So I figured let's get her on camera so you can see exactly who I'm talking about. This is this ferocious creature of a feline here. So we just call her Gata. And she's got many nicknames in the house. So thank you for flying with us, Gata, and for all your support. All right. Here you go, Mama. There you go. You can sit right there if you want to. There you go. Dave McKee says, FS 2020, I don't use a rate ladder thing. I fly GA and Ventus, so pretty pointless. I hear you. And for those who don't fly GA aircraft or turboprops or piston aircraft, whatever it be, there is a big difference in the feeling and performance of the aircraft versus flying a big jet like this. I find these jets, believe it or not, a little easier to fly than the general aviation aircraft, especially because the weight and the thrust and power that you have, especially with the avionics. So my hat's off to you, Dave. You guys know me. I like flying turboprops as well. So I'm glad that you are enjoying the flight and had a good one, Dave. Can't ask for more than that as streamers sometimes, or simmers, I should say. Everyone doesn't stream, but as simmers, we can't ask for anything more than flying what we love, for the software and the hardware to work with no system crashes, and for us to have a great environment to conduct our simulation operations, if you will. So, but if you do stream, as you saw in my situation today, and as you see many other streamers, you got to be patient. Dave McKee says it was a vintage Junker 52 tri-motor tail dragger. No, Dave, those tail draggers are something else, especially when you're sitting down and you got to look left or right to even taxi. But I do find them interesting. I find most aircraft interesting. I'm a true fan and enthusiast of aviation, of course. All right, guys, we are going to be leveling out at 370. Bingo says, no offense, I hate all tail draggers. followed by an LOL. Binga says it keeps flipping over, bro. Yeah, they're not for the faint of heart to fly. I sort of enjoy flying them. I don't do them that often, but I mean, when you put that takeoff power, then you got to push the, you know, Dave, you can really expand better. Push that yoke forward, bring up that tail, and then as you get to your speed, you know, you pull back and it comes up to get that third wheel off the ground. Dave says there is a method to landing them, and I find they're not that bad to land. But Dave, do you do the front gear landing, or do you do 3 points of contact landing? Binga says, like, bro, I apply 3% brake power and I get inverted. And he's asking, how do you land it? Please tell me. Please share some love with that man. There was an article too, guys, that I wanted to cover. We are at our cruising altitude. Let me get some water here. So with our simulator crash, we'll just say that was aircraft problems, and our passengers got out of the terminal a little bit later than anticipated. We're doing good, guys. We are actually doing quite well. Let's go ahead and increase the range. Our next waypoint is about 180 nautical miles out. Dave McKee says, never land 3 point. You're trying to snap the LL. Y'all, later tonight or tomorrow, watch my video. I teach how to take off and land in Vince's tail dragger. For sure, Dave. I'm for sure going to check it out. And Dave schooled me and schooled us. You never land with 3 points of contact. You want to land on the first two primary landing gear, if you will. I'm definitely going to check that video out, Dave, for sure. So if there's any time to plug someone, you guys check out Dave McKee. He's in the chat. Go check out his channel. Subscribe to him. And let's watch his tail dragger videos. Go see if I can pull up an article. Alright, I'm going to pull up this article and then we can do a slight walkthrough cabin to check out this wonderful, beautiful aircraft. So, and I don't even want to pull, I don't know if that's which it shouldn't have caused any problem, but it seems like once I drag my, you know what we'll do, I'll pull up another, I don't even know if I want to do that though. I want to keep this because of the crash, it's got something to do with the frames of the aircraft, so I want to keep main screen as clear as possible. So unfortunately on this one, when I talk to you guys about our arrival, I will just be talking to you about it, and I'm not going to pull it on the screen. I'm not going to pull anything on the flight screen. Binga says he just dropped his chili. Oh no, he's depressed now. I feel you, man. If it ain't one thing, it's the next in this life, I'll tell you that. Alright, so I feel as if we can move around the cabin. So let's come here and do some announcements.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned off the fasten seatbelts, sir, and you may now move around the cabin.
Wow, look at that view.
Always recommend to keep your seatbelt fastened while you're seated.
You can see the heat blare right off that engine.
Electronic devices, such as CD players and laptop computers.
Such a beautiful, beautiful aircraft. Plenty of seats. And this is what we see on our left side, of course. Boy, what a difference. We got, looks like high desert over here. And then on the other side, we got some greens. Go figure. And if we want to come and stand in the cabin, we can do a little cabin walkthrough. See, this one has a little bar in the first class. There's our wonderful doors all sealed and closed, and the other one. Alright guys, if you are on board and you want something to eat or drink, as you can see, we have a couple of different options, and don't mention you need to be in first class or business class. Pretty nice modeling of the aircraft. Even the leather and the seats look pretty authentic. So there you guys go. We're cruising right along. Alright, so Dave McKee says, yeah, I don't know what up with the Navigraph of late. I get huge hits a lot of times if I try to pull over charts to show people what I'm planning. Yeah, I know, Dave. I think maybe that had something to do with it, but in my other flights with other aircraft, I pull it in and out, no problem. Binga says juice and give. I'm assuming that has something to do with him dropping his chili, perhaps. So, at Flight Sim Expo 2021, they let a cat out of the bag for X-Plane 11 and said that X-Plane 12 is going to be coming out soon. And the point of contention for a lot of folks, obviously, is going to be, hey, I spent a lot of money on software, mods, like this one here, and so many other ones, and now you got to switch it over to X-Plane 12, and what's the cost going to be to upgrade? Some companies are actually, you know, for the most part, what I see is they're either A, allowing you to switch over for a small fee, upgrade fee, or B, you got to rebuy the whole thing because they're going to have to do something else to make it work with X-Plane 12. I don't know exactly how that's going to turn out, but we will definitely figure that out. And yeah, we'll see how that goes, man. This article that I've been reading, it's from thresholdx.net, and it just basically says, and this one's regarding the TOLUS aircraft, which I have the TOLUS A319 and A321. So here's one example. TOLUS Simulations has issued a statement regarding X-Plane 12, which was just announced at Flight Sim Expo during the weekend. TOLUS existing products, the A319 and A321, will remain compatible with X-Plane 10 and X-Plane 11. However, the developer announced that users will be required to pay an upgrade fee to the new X-Plane version. It is noted that X-Plane 11 version will technically still work in X-Plane 12, but developer speculates that the upgraded version will include additional features yet to be known. They also have the upcoming product of the A340-600, which will be compatible with X-Plane 11 and X-Plane 12. There will not be an upgrade fee. Also, regarding the twin aisle aircraft, TOLUS has recently declared the release of the A340-600. You can see the trailer here, which if you go to that website, you can. So, what do you guys think about that? You know, they're coming out with the 12, X-Plane 12, and it's time to switch over already. It says Bohemian Dre 242 is here. What is going on? Welcome to the stream. Thanks for the support. If you guys already haven't, smash that like button, and if you haven't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. Help me grow this thing. I know some folks were here on the first stream and then dropped off, like Shaq and XP72. They may be streaming, some other streamers in the community. So feel free to drop that like button for a brother again and keep it moving if that's what you're doing. If not, stay on board for a while and cruise with us. X-Plane 12, I'm going to need a whole new PC for that. I hear you on that, Binga. I hear you on that. Let's go ahead and take a look at our progress here. We got 499 nautical miles. Gets us in at 0023 Zulu. So about an hour from now we'll start our descent, even though this isn't real Zulu time because the sim is pushed back so that it's daytime flying. It gives us about an hour up here to knock those miles out. Let's see what else we can ascertain. Alright, and we should be getting the LAX right around our fuel. Perhaps maybe I should have put some in. This might pick up as we descend though. So we'll see how things go. And yeah, we are definitely cooking with Crisco. It's almost time to get a snack on here, time of day, before we keep this going. All right, so as promised, before we start snack time, let's look more at this checklist. So again, this is quote unquote a full flight tutorial, so why don't we do that? So first of all, looking up top, you want to make sure that you don't have anything off. It's not supposed to be off. So APU, this is supposed to be off because this is the bleed air, and of course the APU is not on, so that's why that is highlighted in yellow or orange, if you will. Everything else in here is pretty much an auto situation. One thing that we'll take a look at is our landing altitude, and you can see we don't have anything on here. And one thing, of course, I always forgot here, let's turn the passenger oxygen on, which obviously it's on, or we would have got hypoxia already. So that is on. And the only thing up higher than this that you really mess with, which we showed you in the last video right before our crash, is this cargo temp select. You must have it in bulk and aft in the low, or you're going to get an error message on the annunciator panel stating that you need to do something with those. So don't be alarmed about that, folks. And back down here to the FMC. So obviously you have the PA system, and you've got the before takeoff, cruise flight, and after landing menu. So if you click in, each one of them, it goes into a bunch of them. So in order to go back, you just hit the PA system, and it gets you back to kind of the parent level of interface. Same thing here with all your checklists. It goes all the way down to shutdown, pre-flight to shutdown, and secure. So essentially you want to get in, as you're doing your flows. What I do with this pre-flight, I go through everything on the pre-flight, usually find out where it's at, or make sure I know where it's at least, and run through it. Now this one you can't easily click here, so you can just run through it and keep going down. Passenger oxygen IRC is only on for the mask, so as long as you got the bleeds on, the cabin is pressurized. Thank you, Dave, for clarifying that. So the cabin was pressurized. We always do a pretty good job about that, but just to go back, I had forgot in rushing to get the plane back up for you guys to get the stream going again, that our oxygen was off, and Dave is simply saying that this passenger oxygen on, or this toggle switch, is for the mask, for oxygen to be in the mask in case we do get hypoxia, or there's an emergency where we need to drop the mask down to so that we can respirate. All right, so back down here, let's get a different view of it, simply because those throttles are up now. But if you come over here, you got normal, and you got certain stuff at the bottom there. Now it's not clickable, but I was just trying to show you to read it. Oops, wrong display. So whenever you want to go back to a menu and you feel like you've done enough, clicking down, such as this, after you've done all your checks for the pre-flight, then you can just click normal menu and then go back into whatever stage you are of the flight, whatever checklist that you need. Then, and we'll cover that in a second. I'm going to need to probably step out. And you can see here now, passenger oxygen is on. So if we want to get rid of that message, you can literally just accept it, and it'll be gone. That's where you hit the accept. So basically that's us accepting that the passenger mask, oxygen mask is on. So there we go. So far, no crazy weather. Nothing's showing up as a return. So we're good there. All right. So, what I think I'm going to do for maybe like 5 minutes or so, I'm going to step away from the cockpit. Does that have an auto setting for passenger oxygen, Dave is asking. Let's go back up top and look at that. And I believe the answer is no. It's just on this panel here. And this is the emergency panel, obviously. And it's just either on or off. There is no auto mode, Dave, that I know of. So it's either going to be on or off. So for emergency purposes, I'll choose to leave it on, even though since it showed up on the annunciator panel, there's a possibility that it doesn't need to be on. I guess I could go through the checklist and take a look at that. All right, so the next notable city that we're going to be flying just to the west of is going to be Reno. We've got a little ways to go there. It's looking like almost we're about halfway through the flight. Not quite. There's 39 minutes. So we roughly have about an hour and 20 minutes left to go, if you will. A little bit less. Actually, an hour and 18 minutes because it's supposed to be an hour and 58 minutes total flying time. All right. Check you guys out here. Make sure there's nothing else going on in the chat. All right. We are just cruising along. I was just checking something out there. Looking at this panel, trying to figure out, let me see this data information. Okay, that's not that. There's some waypoint information. If you hit this data, there's some waypoint information right there about what time we're supposed to pass the waypoint and at what altitude, which is pretty cool. I think I'll leave that on. Position. I wonder if those are weather stations. Okay, that was that. I will leave it as is. If we went to weather report, it's fine with me. And guys, hopefully, well, I'm going to make it to where I can hear ATC, but I think I'll be stepping away just to get a refreshment and something to eat really quick, which is probably just going to be a snack. Those shoulder heaters on. We get the foot heaters either. We'll keep it off for now. And yeah, we're continuing to roll right along. Again, guys, if you're just checking out the stream or joining this video post-stream, smash that like button for me and subscribe to the channel if you like what you see. We're going to try to keep giving you guys what you like to see without compromising my creative flow here. And I think that's a good sign. Ben Gunn, he says, have a good meal. And I will, and I won't be gone long. Let me check my... Okay, we have the map. Let me take the high en route map, and we're going to be switching over into Oakland Center pretty soon. So I'll probably hang out right here until we make the switch over into Oakland airspace, and yeah, because we got a little ways to go. Now that we're out of that weather and our frame should be better, let's go ahead and do a little flyby here.
Bye-bye.
Hey guys, put man just into Chicago Midway so I can get my trips in.
Boy, she is cooking. I like this livery too. This one is the Spirit of Atlanta, as you can see. She is looking official. All right, back on we go. And let's just double check our fuel and landing. 5.3. Okay, so we went up 0.2, which is good. That's what we want. On descent, we should probably recalculate. This will be recalculated too, and it'll probably be a little bit higher than 5.3 kilos. All right, Dave says, what it is about us simmers, we always decide to fly when we know we haven't had dinner or etc. yet, LOL. That is so true, Dave. And the funny thing is, I was super pumped up during the first part of this stream, but I was still intending to probably get food on the flight. And just a little snack maybe, but yeah, it's so true, man. I didn't start out hungry, but then all the stuff happened with the crash, and went to tell my wife kind of what was going on, and the whole wow. So yeah, your boy's hungry, and now, you know, and Pilotedge is not as forgiving on walking away from the cockpit and all that stuff as VATSIM is. So again, I'm going to try to wait until we get into Oakland said airspace, which we're far enough away that it's not going to happen instantaneously, but close enough to where I really don't want to get out of the seat because they're just going to do a handover to Oakland Center. So I figure my hunger can wait. There's plenty of miles to get us a little snack in there. Let me refresh my palate here with some nice cleanse of H2O. How was everybody's Wednesday in terms of work and life in general? Any hump day madness, if you will? Mine was pretty easy day. Just some telephonic, really no work today. Just telephonic stuff with my business partner, and went on a nice, interesting route of picking up 3 kids from their schools today. 3 of my kids, that is. I still have 4 either in junior high or elementary, and 2 in college. So I got 2 daughters in college. I have a son and a daughter in junior high, and then I have a son and a daughter in elementary. So there you go. Minga said school's annoying. Dave McKee says pretty lame, other than a ton of phone calls to make and answer, Dave says, as far as his day was going. Yeah, I mean, that kind of was my day as well, Dave. Nothing really pressing. So we have got our arrival set up pretty good. So before to kill time until we get to that handover, let's go ahead and take a look at our flight plan.
Delta 318, connect Oakland Center 127.45.
Oakland Center 2745, Delta 318, we'll see you. Alright, so 2745, and then I can get up and go get something to eat. Good evening, Oakland Center, Delta 318 Heavy. Checking in with you, flight level 370. Which I wonder if he gave us the right frequency. So he said 2745, that's more of the Southern Space Center frequency. 127. 2745, that's what's it. Let's try this again. Good evening, Oakland Center, Delta 318 Heavy, checking in with you, flight level 370.
Delta 318 open, center, roger.
Alright, so it must have been something with the push to talk, but we're all checked in. Now, let's see if I can angle this thing down here. Oops, wrong one. Alright, so we're in the plan mode. Now we can kind of step through it when we go to our legs page. And obviously we're direct jogging. So let's take a look now. Actually, we're direct June J. Let's just see what our arrival looks like. Crown. Alright, so we'll be coming down Simon. So far that looks good. And there's Cliffy, Dar, and Gatto. Gatto is the last waypoint on the actual arrival. And you can see this. This is final here. Lima is the final point. That's where you're catching that 3 degrees glide slope till you hit the field. So, yeah, there we go. Let me see. Let me increase the range here. But at any rate, so the plan looks good. We'll be getting vectors after Gatto. We'll stay in a heading of 71 degrees and go from there. So 2337, we have top of descent happening in 345 nautical miles at 0021. So what does that mean for us? That means about 40 minutes flying time here, and then we will most certainly be back to where we're getting busy again. We already have runway 25 left programmed in there, so that's cool. So at this point, guys, I am going to step away, grab something, and be back. I should not be gone any longer than 5 to 6 minutes, hopefully. So I'll check you guys out here shortly. Alright guys, I am back. Haven't eaten yet, but I do have some food. But I'll be chit-chatting with you guys while I'm here. Eating, but I'll just turn the camera off. I'll be checking you guys in the chat here. Alright, so we got... Still everything's the same. Chat is pretty quiet, guys. Let's do a rate decrease here on the range and really take a look at how far we have to go. 259 nautical miles ago. It's going to go pretty quick. Right at 0020 Zulu. If we look at the aircraft Zulu time, it's 23:47. We've been in the air and getting ready to go on an hour, so literally we'll have 58 minutes left to go. So that's 1 hour in books. And yeah, guys, like I said, I think we had that crash before because of the weather. So we don't have that much farther to descend. Less than an hour to go until we should be on the ground in LA. So hopefully we don't have any issues. Again, if you're just joining the stream, welcome to the stream. We are currently on a direct flight, Delta Flight 318, Boeing 777-200, long range heavy, full service from Seattle. Seattle's SeaTac International down to Los Angeles. Dave McKee, I'm back, was sending something to a person who was having trouble understanding what ATC meant when they are flying VFR. Roger that, Dave. You are truly a superhero for the flight sim community. So thank you for sharing that information, Dave. Let me turn this music up slightly. Alright, so we're still legit. Everything is good to go. Slide this view over here a little bit. I'd set up a few different views. Let's check this other view. There's a view. There we go. This is a pretty cool view right here to have. We are actually sitting. Let me show you guys where we're at. We're actually sitting in this seat here. Kind of lean way forward though. Just imagine it lean forward. So we're right behind the first officer. But for whatever reason, I like that view. Oops. Let me get it right. I like this view, so I set it up here, but obviously we're a little bit out of the seat if you kind of look. That's all right. All right, Dave says Harley, but thank you for the kind words. Nah, man, Dave, what I mean is you're always willing to help and you go out of your way to help others. And even when some streamers, which I've noticed, and I still have some videos where this conversation happened where, you know, they're taking themselves too serious about their landing rate and all that. You just say, hey man, some people are just here to have fun, and it's about having fun, not to mention learning. So that's what I'm talking about. That's the positivity that you keep going, keep exuding anyway through the chat and through helping folks out, Dave. So that's why I say that. All the true superheroes are those that give back. If you consider yourself a superhero, philanthropist, doing for the community good, but you're not willing to give back and reciprocate things, obviously positive things, then you can't be in the hero category. So Dave, you're in the hero category, man, because you give back. You know, you're always constantly giving information here. You know, I'm learning new stuff constantly, not just from you, but everybody, but a lot does come from you. So there you go. Sharing is caring in the wisdom world, folks. Sharing is caring in the wisdom world, folks. Share what you know. Share what you know. Share what you know. My little co-pilot is literally walking underneath my legs. The little feline that you saw, she is very dedicated to her co-pilot duty. Making sure she's not chewing any of my cords there. Alright, got my wonderful soda there. Let's see. Wonder if we should do a bit of a nice little wing view here for a little bit. I'm going to make this wing view static here for a second. I'm going to toggle the X view camera and we're going to disable track IR. We'll save that setting for now. Get a look at that engine there for a minute, roaring. And then I'm gonna disappear really quick because I'm gonna be eating, but I'm here, I'm talking with you guys, but I just, hopefully you guys let me know if you hear some munching in your ear. So I'm still here, guys. No need to worry. I just don't want you guys seeing some barbaric behavior on my food consumption. But I am here, and I'll turn the camera back on once I feel like the onslaught of food is complete. It's not very loud food, so hopefully you won't hear it. And I am here. Also, guys, don't forget to support Shaq. Captain Shaquille Oatmeal is streaming right now, and let me see who else is streaming. Let us see who else is streaming at the moment. Turn my volume down on my phone. All right. Obviously, we're live. Okay, Captain Shaquille Oatmeal is live. And let me see if XP72 is live. XP72 is live. Check out XP72 as well right now if you would like. I'm gonna go drop a like in for him. He's got 198 likes now. We'll check Shaq's out. Let me turn him up a little bit. Already dropped the like on him and XP. Nice, Dave. You might hear XB72s in the background. It's on my phone. Just giving him a shout out. And he's on approach, so he probably won't say anything. All right. Let me check Shaq's out. All right. So I was just, Dave McKee says, nice chatting at Benga. Benga says, all right, I got to go. Hopefully you have a great approach and landing. Thank you, Benga. HD is also live, so we'll check him out. And Dave McKee says, nice chatting at Benga. Have a great, good rest of your evening. Cool. Shaq is up to 1,700 subscribers, so that's, we see 1.07k subscribers, so 1,070 subscribers he has, so it's good. His channel is growing. I like the growth that I've seen on his channel, so that's awesome.
Thank you, man. I hope you're doing well. Is there full coverage? Yes, there is full coverage.
Alright, let's check out HD as well. And I thought Avsim, I don't know if his name, Aviation Simmer was on as well. pretty much who I see. I don't think I have HD simulations. I don't know. I thought I did. Let's see. HD simulations is streaming. Let's see. Let me go back. And for whatever reason, it's not coming up on mine, so. Shame. I'm looking for his live if he is. What is his what's his handle, Ave, for HDs? If you could write it in my chat, then I can go to his channel. I thought I was subscribed to him. Apparently I am not. That's okay. Cruising right along, guys. We'll be on this frequency pretty much. This frequency will cover all of Oakland Center until we get to Los Angeles. What I'm going to do too.
Heavy, coming down 127.2.
I'm almost done eating, guys, so you guys will be able to see my wonderful handsome chiseled face back on screen. Alright, these messages are just simply saying that there is a little something wrong with some of the scenery I have, but I fly out of Monterey and the scenery is usually just fine, so that's not our LA traffic, our scenery, of course. Alright, the chewing portion is over pretty much. Feel like I can rejoin visible. And we're rolling right along. Place to drink safely. Don't want any spillage in here. Well, that's some beautiful scenery out there. Passing over some farmland, looks like. Let's check out some other wonderful views here. Boy, this is nice too, isn't it? You can see that heat blur coming off that engine and it makes it a little shaky. Alright, back up to the cockpit we go. Let's keep this thing rolling. Look at that, guys. 137 nautical miles until top of descent, man. So we even picked up a minute. Remember I said the fuel, as we get closer, it's more efficient. Now we're almost going to have 6,000 kilos of fuel upon arrival into the Los Angeles area. We are fairly heavy, so I believe we're going to do an auto brake 3 on touchdown. And the cool thing about this aircraft is that once you put in the FMC, of course we did it way early. Once you put in the FMC, your arrival runway, and if there's a localizer, it does the localizer and the course setting all by itself. You don't have to program it in. You just got to pray that it's right. Now there's a way to check if it's right. I'm going to show you guys how to do that. And then we'll read over the descent checklist here really quick. So if you guys want to check to see if your let's take a look at this turn first. think that's a good idea for a little flyby there on the turn. Nice. Nice little soft bank. Straighten back up on course. Anyway, if you guys want to see if the navigation information is in there for your arrival, you're going to come over here to nav radio, and you're going to see this is the ILS 1099 and 251. So that is to be matched up with your approach plate. So I'm going to get that pulled up now. Again, I'm just not going to bring it onto the screen. Not this flight anyway, like I did in the last one, just to be on the safe side. So we'll just talk about it. But I did show you guys the arrival on the first segment. So if you're truly interested in what we're looking at, you can go to the first segment and reference that. Okay, so as I said, our last point on here is Gatto. So what we're going to do now, in anticipation of our descent, first thing we want to do is make sure our MCP is going to be set up for the plane to start descending. Actually, delay that. We'll keep it 370. We got to get clearance first, otherwise this bird's going to start going down by itself. But if I were flying by myself, that's exactly what I would do. I would already have it set up. So, the approach plate.
Bravo, Bravo, time 014, release departure, point 5 minutes from now, frequency change first.
25 left. 109.9 is the actual frequency which we have in there, and 251 is the course heading.
Expectation 25 heavy, Whiskey, Victor, Bravo to the ramp, flat on the ground.
So we're all good there. We are going to be parking at gate 54 Bravo. What does that mean for us? That means once we land on runway 25 left, we're going to hit across 25 right, depending on which cross taxiway that we take, and then we eventually need to be on probably Charlie, if they give us that taxi, on over to it is Terminal 5, and it's just past 56 Alpha. We'll be going to 54 Bravo. Again, I would show you guys that, but that would put us at risk for another crash, and we have too much time invested in this thing. This is cool too here. You can look at the current programmings of the VORs in case you had to fly a VOR. You put it in here real quick, and then you would have this aircraft basically put it into the VOR mode. As you can see right here, it's off, but you would put it in the VOR mode, so you would flip it up into the VOR left mode, put this on VOR, and then you could navigate to the VOR, putting that information there. Granted, you knew it, of course, heading to put into your heading situation here. So let's back that down. You can see you got we're at the 80 mark, so this is 40 and the outer band is 80. So we're going to leave it there for now and continue our briefing here. Now let's get ready to get into our descent checklist. So descent checklist is the nav radio page. ADF switches, radio or barrel minimums are set as required for approach. We're going to do a radio altimeter of 200. VREF speed, select VREF speed, verify auto brake set, seat belts on. So not too much for our descent checklist. So let us get a snapshot. I don't know how we are going to check the weather, but yet we will try to check the weather somehow.
Bravo, 7,400, 16,000 on the front left.
So wind's at 12 knots. Runway's plenty long. So we're definitely not going to do a full flaps landing. We are, so the runway there you can see is 11,095 feet or 3,381 meters. So we're definitely doing this flaps landing of 25 and plus 8 knots or 12 knots rather is going to put us right at about 158, 156 for a V approach. Let's write that down. Okay, so that is going to be our approach into there, and as stated, we're pretty heavy, so I'm going to go ahead and set this thing to auto brake 3. Just to make sure we have a nice thrifty slowdown, so the passengers are going to feel a little bit out of the slowdown, so hopefully it's a nice landing going on there. And then let's check our other systems here. Love it when I hit the wrong view. Alright, so let us double check our status page once again. And I believe this information too, we can switch. So you can switch these displays around. Put that back in the center, but it's pretty cool. You can switch the displays around for what you want. And yeah, that's pretty cool. You can also, if you come over here, you can click this nav button and it'll put what we see here down here for your nav. So you can kind of look down and do the same thing as well. So I think that's pretty slick how they did that in this aircraft. So if you want to be looking at which this plays, let's say you're doing some FMC work and you're doing it, you want to be looking at it at the same time in this aircraft, you can see it right here, which is pretty slick. Let me see now if I can switch left inboard. There we go. So now you guys can see we've got the checklist over here, which is going to make it easier. So that's how you guys kind of do that, which is pretty slick. And yep. So we'll put it back in the center. Click that back off and get the checklist going back. Then this, just turn it back to the nav. Or you can turn it back to MFD now. And that's kind of how that works. See, we're back to where we need to go. So that's pretty slick, depending on what you're doing. So let's continue to check this out. So we've got our APU off. As you can see, here's the crew quantity of oxygen. We got hydraulic quantities and pressures for the left, center, and the right. Those are looking good there. So we can just kind of go through. Let's look at our electrical system here. Checking in on the electrical system, as we said. Now, remember before in the last video, our buses are tied, but we don't have power coming from the APU generator, secondary or primary. It's coming from the main generators now. So you can see left generator, right generator, and you can see the source is coming from the actual generator. So the bus is not tied to these right now. It's coming straight from the generator. But what the bus does is, in lieu of adding power here and disconnecting here, it'll switch to these. So that's pretty cool. 206 amps on the left main and 70 amps on the right main. You can also come here and look at our fuel, which you guys already saw, nothing in the center. Here is our other tanks, and you can see the throttle is really going back and forth there. Then of course, you guys, we can also check the air. This is for our bleeds and things, so you can see that the isolation valves are in auto. The The center one is not doing anything. Obviously, it doesn't have anywhere else to go, but it is a block if you need to. There's our duct pressures left and right, our packs, and yeah.
Delta 318, connect LA Center 133.2.
Okay, sir, we're going over to LA Center at 33.2. It's nice flying with you. See you next time. Delta 318 Heavy. All right, so let's go ahead and do our 1332 check-in. Good evening, loudbound to the center of Delta 318 Heavy with you. Checking in flight level 370.
Delta 318, LA Center, good evening. Descend via the Ironman 2.
Yes, sir. Descend via the Ironman 2. And good evening to you as well, Delta 318 Heavy. All right, now we can officially back that out. Alright guys, so top of descent's in roughly 20 nautical miles, so it's getting real. Let me see if I can pick up that ATIS. Let me check with you guys. Alright, so we're still cruising right along. If you guys are just joining the stream, go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe if you're not part of the channel, help me grow this thing together, and share it out as well. Share it out to as many people as possible. Matter of fact, I should go and share it out myself. Alright, taking my own advice and sharing it out, of course. Alright guys, and you can see the aircraft is starting to do a slowdown in preparation for descent. Alright guys, so we are definitely needing to check on the legs page here just to make sure the aircraft is doing what it needs to do. So it's slowing itself down to 0.723 Mach. So as you can see here, 0.723 Mach coming up, which is bringing it pretty low, honestly. So it's picking back up the speed to keep there. And our descent has officially started. So at this point, let's go ahead and shut our music down because now it is getting for real. Over to center 135.5 for Delta 318 Heavy. All right, 1355. Hopefully.
12 Victor, are you at least giving me 500 feet per minute? Victor, Roger. You can disconnect at your when able and reload on the rim.
All right. Los Angeles Center, Delta 318. And we have flight level 347 descending via the Atlantic.
7318 Los Angeles, South Altimeter 297.
987 on the altimeter, Delta 318.
1 Bravo Charlie. You wanted
All right, so that altimeter he said is 2987.
70 Golf Mike, left heading 290.
And let's see if we can go ahead and start working on some frequencies. Of course, 25 left frequency for the ATIS is 33.8. So let's see if we can make some magic here. And that doesn't work. Let's try 33.8 here. We still could be too far. I doubt it. But I just think these radios aren't set up for. There we go. We figured it out. So Kilo is current. We have Kilo 2987. Alright, so we got what we needed. We do have the ATIS there, and if he gives us 24 right, we're definitely going to request 25 left because we need to go to gate 54 Bravo. Okay, aircraft is doing what it needs to do. Slow descent checklist. Looks like we completed that. Auto brake, VREFs are in, so now we just need to do our auto brake and arm our speed brakes. It's getting real now, folks. We are on our descent into the Los Angeles area. Speed brake is armed, auto brake is set to 3. VREF is in, VREF speed. We set our V approach is about 156 with that 12 degree wind, which is coming out of the west, so we're going to be landing west, although it's going to be pretty much a headwind. Seatbelts are on. Recall and review all alert messages. Well, I showed you guys what that recall button is at. Passenger oxygen is on, and we can just accept that. That's not really a hefty message there or anything else for us to worry about. And we're on our way in. Hopefully we're on the ground in the next, this was an hour and 58 minute flight, so basically we need to be on the ground in the next 25 minutes or so. To be on time as far as the flight's concerned, we left a little bit not on time simply because of the snafu with the sim crash. So there goes the wonderful California coast. Check you guys out in chat. Dave McKee, interesting. LAX has ATIS for each runway. Seems kind of redundant to me given they are 1 nautical mile apart, unless I misheard you, of course. You know, I don't know if I said something or if it was redundant. I just know the radios here. Figuring out the radios, if you guys are using this thing in COM 2, you're actually going to use the one that's VHFR right, which is apparently, I can switch it up to here, but that's all good. And because this is center and this is right, so these are the two ones we're using, not the first officer's side. But I could switch this to be over here, but we're just going to use it right here because it's working now. So it wasn't working in Seattle, of course, for whatever reason, but it's working now. Now we're going to use this side to program in our runway freaks. So we're expecting 25 left. So Los Angeles Tower. Let's see, North Complex, South Complex. So we're the South Complex, so we're doing 2095. We already got the ATIS. We said it was information kilo. And then ground, South Complex is 12175. So our goal, once we get off, guys, of the runway, is to get off on Hotel 4 through 7. Or actually, Hotel 4 through Hotel 9. Hopefully I don't do a long landing, of course. But that always will make the difference. Alright, so we're continuing to descend here, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we got going on here. Alright, so we have Viking 19,050, Ironman is a 1512 or 15,000. SoCal approach 24.5, Delta 318 heavy. Alright, 24.5 coming up. Approach Delta 318 heavy with you descending via the Ironman 2, currently at flight level 180, and we do have Kilo on board.
Delta 318 heavy, SoCal approach, anticipation, current advice, we have Lima, 2988, expect balance, full right approach.
Okay, roger that. We'll go get Lima on board with the right altimeter, and is there any chance we can get 25 left, sir, since we're parking at gate 54 Bravo? Thank you so much, sir, and I'll advise when we have Lima. Alright, so we can come out of standard. We must have just missed Lima. Alright, that's a lot of mumbo jumbo going on there. So 2988 on the altimeter, which we have. And SoCal approach, Delta 318, we have Lima on board. Alright, so now what we want to do is I'm going to go pull up my Navigraph charts here and just make sure the aircraft is following the RNAV. Let's see, Simon, we should be between at flight level, or let's give it some brakes here. We're going to need to pump out some brakes because we need to slow down big time. Put them about halfway. See the speed brake out there. Choppy here. Alright, speed brakes back armed. Here we go. Hopefully we keep this profile here so we don't pick up too much speed. At any rate, we said Simon between 13,000 and 2, or 12,000 as you were. And let's see how we're doing with that. So it's got 13,2, and that's close enough. Based is 10,262, and base is just supposed to be above 9,000. So we're doing well there, guys. Pitching down at negative 14 or negative 1,500 feet per minute, so that's not too bad. As we make the turn as well, we'll be able to see Los Angeles Airport, which looks like it's right here. So we are definitely making it happen. We got to go back out with that air brake, bleed some speed. We got about 18 minutes until it'll be on the ground, guys, so we're not doing too bad. Just keeping the aircraft legit right there. And we are definitely bouncing around here coming in. We can feel that wind coming in here into the Los Angeles area. And we'll keep it on that for now. And then as soon as we get direct data, we can go ahead and put our heading mode in. So you can see here, once we get to Gatto 6,000, we'll be on a heading of 71, and then we need to stay vector 71, and we should get that from our wonderful ATC. All right, 11,100. Pretty soon we're going to be getting our landing lights on here in a second. And yeah, we're going to bring her in. Dave McKee says, I hate when the ATIS changes when getting set up for the late parts of the descent. I know, right, Dave? You get it, and then you turn back and like, oh, sorry, it's the next letter in the alphabet, of course. You're like, oh, man, I thought I was doing something right, bro. All right, here we go, guys. We're making our left turn here, and we're just about at 10,000. We're at 230 knots or so, or 238. Let's go ahead and go for those landing lights. Literally get everything on, guys. And we've got technically one more turn to truly be downwind. Again, we go over to the first officer's side. We can see the field right here at the 1 o'clock position. Essentially, we're going to come here, get off, taxi back this way to Terminal 5. You guys can see it's definitely some turbulence, so let's come over here.
7318 Heavy contact approach 128.5 minutes.
Over to approach 128.5. You have a good day as well, Delta 318 Heavy. All right, 1285. So I'll approach. Delta 318 is with you. 8,800. Descending being the Ironman 2 with Lima on board.
Delta 318 Heavy approach, Altimeter 2988.
2988 on the altimeter, Delta 318 Heavy. All right, guys, so let's get over here. Cruise flight before cruise flight. Da-da-da. Going seatbelts on.
Ladies and gentlemen, the captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please return to your seats and fasten your seatbelts. Thank you.
All right, before landing, there we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes our aircraft will land at the destination.
Captain Jarrett says, Shaq sent me. Welcome, Captain Jarrett. John Zink. Captain Shaquille Oatmeal. Oh, baby, got you on my phone, brother. Hope all is well. It is, brother. Fires, Rock City Strong, Just Joker. Welcome, all guys, to the stream. Thanks for the likes. Thank you, Shaq, man. You are too much. You know we support, baby. We got to get it going, so I appreciate you guys. We are on our initial approach here into the Los Angeles area. We should be touching down here momentarily. With that spirit, guys, let me go ahead and give you guys definitely, let's go ahead and get some speed brake. Let's dial it down a little bit. Smooth Ops, Captain AB, welcome to the stream. Drew Stone, of course, welcome into the stream. We are on final approach. Let me get you guys some controls here. And, you know, you guys are adding pressure. Present heading down to 3,000, up to 318 heavy. All right, guys, so we're going to do present heading down to 3,000. Boy, we are bouncing around here. You guys see that? All right, so we're going to continue our descent. We got 210 on the speed, so we are bleeding down. And actually, we're going to add a little bit of drag, and we're going to go flaps 1. As you can see, we're approaching flaps 1, but that'll give us a little bit of drag here. And you can see he's going to probably turn us pretty quick. So now that that's done, in order for the ILS to really pick up, what we're going to do is we are going to get rid of these vectors and essentially, we'll leave that out for now. Once we make our turn, I'll go direct to whatever turn we're making so that we can get the ILS working. Alright, so you can see the aircraft is trying to do its best. Let's go ahead and go flaps 5. Alright, let me check you guys out in chat one more time, then it is going to be quiet as a whistle in here. Alright, the Warden, Shaq sent me. Bombasso, Shaq sent me. Fires, everybody. If I'm missing you, I don't mean to. Hopefully we have a good approach. Rest of our approach here, you guys can see Los Angeles right here in all its windy glory. And for me, the stream is lagging because I'm on the iPhone, Captain Jarrett says. Sorry about that. But you can rewatch it. It'll be HD because I got pretty good stream settings here. So yeah, let's get a quick look. I was just past over the city, but you can see that back there is off the 210. That's where Pasadena wraps around LA, and then it goes up through the Grapevine there. And let's see if we can see any traffic down on these busy highways, of course. Okay, we're flying present heading. He's probably waiting for us to achieve 3,000. Don't forget our approach speed is about 156 here. And once we make our turn, we're going to go ahead and drop our speed down to 190 until we get on the final approach vectors. Alright guys, all landing lights are on. The speed brake is armed, auto brake is 3. And oops, guys get a nice little view there. Boy, look at that wing working, you guys. Look at that slat out. Look at that aileron just trying to work to balance this thing, man. This is pretty nasty business here. We're almost at 3,000, folks. Alright, let's come here, and before landing, if we didn't do that.
Ladies and gentlemen, in a few minutes our aircraft will land at the destination airport. For your safety, we ask you to remain seated until the
approach altitude verified check, landing on all runway lights, no smoking, switch on, engine anti-ice is automatically on. Altimeter has been checked, QNH has been set to 288, which is the altimeters. Right, 150, Delta 318. Alright guys, here we go, we're starting our turn. I don't know how this landing's going to go with this wind, guys. This is some serious headwind. Okay, we're going down to speed 190 now that we made the turn. Alright, so now we can tell this thing we want to go direct gate. Told you guys. Told you how we roll. Just in case. Gate. Don't forget to execute that bad boy. 220 on the heading, 200 step, 25 left localizer, Delta 318. All right, let's get 220 on the heading. And of course, let's arm the localizer. All right, 220 on the heading. And now the localizer is alive. So now we can arm it. This aircraft, you can't arm the localizer unless it's coming up in this information here. So if you don't have your glide slope and your localizer, don't even think about. It will maintain 3,000 until established on the localizer. Cleared ILS 25 left approach Delta 318. All right, guys. Now you know what we need to do really quick. The actual, I think, tower. Over to tower 120905. You take care as well, sir. All right, there we go. Los Angeles Tower, Delta 318, ILS 25 left. 25 left, cleared to land, Delta 318. All right, guys. So this final checklist is all done. And landing flaps are good. Position that's after. Localizer displayed. Localizer capture verify. On intercept heading, which we are. Flaps are good to go. All right, guys. Let's go ahead and drop the gear. Bring our speed down to 156. Flaps 25 selected. We'll wait for that to indicate. All right, and 156 was our V approach. Here we go. You guys are being too generous. Okay, let's check. Gear is down. Indicated here. Flaps 25 selected and indicating all landing lights on, including runway turnoffs and taxi lights. We have the runway in sight. Clearance has been obtained. And you guys ready to handle this manually? All right, guys. I don't know what else to say except prayer and a wish. We're going to take this manually from here because you know we like to have fun. It's connected. Auto throttle's off. It's my aircraft, my controls, my throttle. All right, folks.
2,500.
Woo! Come on, baby. All right, guys. I'll check you out in the chat when I get on the ground. This is some serious business here. Boy, it is a bumpy ride. I got to throw on some power. Woo-wee! A little bit more power there. This is nasty, guys. This is very nasty business. Power down a little bit. I don't know how this is gonna go, guys, man. You guys, this thing is bouncing around everywhere. I normally don't fly with two hands, but I tell you what, boy. All right, we're a little bit high on the speed. Bring it down. There we go. Boy, it kind of smoothed out at this lower altitude. We're going to be landing kind of fast here, so I'm glad I set that auto brake to 3. Oh man, those higher winds, boy, they were just bouncing us around like a rag doll. All right. We got those winds under control. Now let's just get a nice little landing, guys. It's been quite the day. 500 check. A little bit under our approach speed, but over VREF, so that's good.
300.
Burbank Tower, Trinidad 2812 Victor, short of 8, ready for
Sync rate.
departure.
100.
Victor, Burbank Tower, my 8 clear for takeoff. My 8 clear for takeoff, 28
40. 30.
Light slow.
10.
All right, acceptable landing. We will definitely take that with these winds. Woo! All right. That was about as risque as it could go. Exiting the runway. That was a nasty, nasty, nasty approach. And yeah, that was crazy. Cleaning up the flaps. And speed brake coming in, landing lights off.
Delta 318, cross my 25 right at Juliet, or correction, not Juliet, then taxi via Bravo to parking, monitor ground.
Okay, crossway 25 right, Juliet, taxi to the ramp, monitor ground for Delta 318. All right, so we got to get that ground frequency pulled in. Woo, I'm gonna check you guys out in the chat in a minute. That was something else.
12234.
All right, we're gonna monitor ground, and we're gonna put this on the right.
Departure with information Delta.
And we just
12234 Long Beach ground, right 26 right taxi.
we have to
Runway 26
click it on the right. Now we're monitoring both.
Departures in progress. VFR departures contact.
Well, let's turn that off.
Delivery. Advise.
I think I gotta switch them. All right, guys, that was something else. Here's Juliet. We got to get ready to turn our strobes back on
Over to departure.
and lights. Crossing the runway. It looks clear. It looks clear. And I will definitely check you guys out in the chat. Trying to figure out why I look like I'm sitting so close, but we'll just do it this way. All right, guys, we are clear of that. Oops, we'll leave that on. Let's get the strobe back off. Those landing lights back off.
Roundabout for ground. Diamond 17 Charlie Zulu at FBO.
Well, welcoming into Los Angeles International Airport. Not the best work on that landing, but I tell you what, that wind was throwing us around, boy. I was so happy once I got to a certain altitude that the winds were almost a non-factor. I mean, she was still dancing around a little bit, but she was all over the place, man. I had to use two hands on this one, but we had a great landing, in my opinion, for what the conditions were. So I'm very happy with it. All right, let's check it out. Drew Stone says, nice job. We high. That's right. Nice. Pilotedge. FTW. And you guys, let's get it in. Let's boogie. You guys were too nice with those landing ratings. We just weren't able to make that with that wind, man. All right, guys, let's go with the APU on. And let's make sure the generator is going to be on for our generational purposes. Welcome it in to Los Angeles International Airport, guys. my taxi situation going on here, correct? Fuel quantity low? Well, guess what? No problem. All right. Of course, my feline co-pilot decides to walk underneath my feet as I'm using the rudder pedals. Okay, here's 56, and then there's 54. Let's make our turn a little wide here. And here we go, 54 Bravo, of course. All right, we got to continue to straighten the aircraft up. Trying to park here decent now that we have our marshaller.
234, holding short over 26 right at Kilo, ready for departure.
Sit up here. We don't want to crush this guy.
12034, Long Beach Tower, and RT6 right, clear for takeoff. 2 right, clear for takeoff, 2.
All right. Parking brake is set. Should have got those taxi lights pulling in, but we had a lot more problem. We don't have a first officer. Hi, kids. We have made it to Los Angeles, folks. Let's go ahead and shut that transponder off and get these engines cut off. Engines are getting cut off at this point. Let's go up top now. Turn that APU bleed on for the air. Keep the passengers well ventilated, of course. And start getting off a whole bunch of stuff that we don't need, and then we are going to get into the replay, folks. Man, it has been quite a day. I appreciate everybody riding along. You guys are more than awesome for coming over from Shaq's stream over here, and I can't say thank you enough to everybody. We'll leave this stuff here on for now. And yeah, I think we're good. We'll go and take a look at our final position at the gate and get off of Pilotedge. And now we can turn that beacon off. All lights are off and clean. Let's come take a look outside.
49 clearance to LA, please.
All right, so okay, parking job. Look at this guy. He's still. He literally is still waiting for us to come in, but we're okay. We're a little left of the parking, which you guys know I normally park better than that, but it is what it is. So let us get back into this replay. Nice one, enjoyed you. See you on the next one. Absolutely bombazo. I appreciate everybody. We're up to 19 likes, which is familiar. Captain Shaquille Oatmeal, beautiful jet. Hey, I appreciate you, brother. I'm gonna come back and check your live if you're still streaming. In the meantime, let us get Pilotedge turned off. They have done more than enough. And we can get some music on. Now let's watch this crazy approach, guys. Welcome it into Los Angeles International Airport. Again, thank you everybody for riding along. It has been quite the day, especially with the stream crashing. This business, you just cannot give up, guys. You just cannot give up. Let me get rid of two things. Bada bing, bada boom, because you guys don't need to see me anymore or the controls. That was a wild one. All right, here we go, guys. Man, at this point, we were getting thrown around like a rag doll, that's for sure. Look at that. We had our flaps down. We're banking left. That wind is just treating us like a rag doll. Trying to do our little banks there. Oh, we were official. We were lit up. You know, good thing we had decent visibility. You can see the aircraft was just getting tossed around like a rag doll, man, I'm telling you. All right, slow and steady she goes. Slow and steady as she goes, guys. And of course, now we're on our final descent. Should be switching to the LA Tower here in a second. You can tell the winds had definitely smoothed out at this point, crossing that last highway. You could definitely tell that the winds had smoothed out at this point. It was unbelievable that they did, but I'm so glad that they did, guys. Alright, Shaq says, gonna focus on my arrival. Stay dangerous, brother. Shaq, I will be in your stream here in a hot second.
Great.
100.
See, we're just trying to get it taken care of.
30.
Light slow.
10.
Trying to get center line. Which the front gear did touch center line, guys. The front gear definitely touched that center line. Then we went a little bit left. But we definitely held that touchdown with the center line. And of course, my flaps and speed brakes and all that are not being modeled again. They were earlier today, but I don't know what's going on. It says Kit Fort 32 Conlots. Nice, man. I appreciate you. You know, let's run that back, guys. Let's watch that. Let's watch that touchdown one more time. I mean, out of that wind. I mean, if you look, when we very first,
Light slow. Sync rate.
when we very first touched that,
Sync rate.
if you watch,
100.
it's gonna be pretty cold with it.
40. 30.
We had a nice angle. Nose was nice and high. There we go. We knew we wanted to get center line. A little bit of a lopsided touchdown. Watch that front nose gear right on the center line. Then we blow a little bit to the left. As you can see, as we're trying to get that bad boy under control. Let's do that one more time from the tower view.
10.
So, with an acceptable landing, I am so happy for that. That means
300.
it's neither, it's just, you know, okay. And I'm okay with that, you know. Definitely wasn't expecting to butter with this type of winds on this approach, that's for sure. Definitely was not expecting a butter, so an average landing in this beast coming from Seattle with those winds that toss us around was just phenomenal, guys.
Light slow.
10.
We got a few different views we're going to watch this from today, guys. Boom! Watch that nose gear. Center line, baby. Of course, then we get on the rudder pedals. You know, we just go just a little left of center, but we definitely landed center line. Those big GE engines in the full reverse mode. Boom. Reverse free right there. All right, come on. Let's run it back again. I got to get a few more views in there, baby.
10. 130. 40. 50.
Light slow. Sync rate.
200.
So you guys can see right here, we were definitely lined up,
Sync rate.
but we lost it. There was a gust of wind that comes. Watch, it's going to blow us off center. There we go. I pitched up a little bit, trying to come down. Now we're blew a little bit right. Right here, we realized it wasn't center line, so off to the right we go. That's why the right landing gear and the rear touches down first. We use our rudder pedals. Boom. Right there. You know, I can't ask for more than that. All right, there's a few different views we're going to do it from, of course.
Light slow. Sync rate.
300. 500.
working. 20 likes, man. Thank you guys, everybody. You guys are awesome. And here we go.
200.
Sync rate.
It was pretty smooth here.
50. 40. 30.
We are now up to 21 likes, man. You guys are awesome. If you guys haven't, please like, subscribe, and share out the channel. Look at that touchdown, guys. Again, my surfaces aren't being modeled. You guys clearly know we had them out. But look at that engine come into the reverse mode. Alright, let's go ahead and ride it back. See what we got out of the left wing.
Sync rate.
We'll do a left wing arrival here. And we're going to bring it out. Of course, you guys know how we do it. We're going to ride it all the way into the gate. I want to watch us bounce around, actually. You guys are going to see how we were bouncing around, man.
2500.
Alright, there we go. Now you're going to see us bounce around. I'm going to go ahead and lock in the track IR. About right here. We're locked in, guys. Can you do a cockpit view, please? Keep for Kenless. Once we land, we'll do another cockpit view of the... I took the replay off, so we'll land and I'll do a cockpit replay for you, brother. So just hold tight, and I'll definitely do that for you, Kit Fort 32. Let me get myself on here really quick just to tell you guys how much I appreciate you. Look, guys, last time on the camera, you guys know this is what I like to do towards the end of my flight. We're going to ride it out. I'm not going to say any more after this, and then I'm going to do a cockpit review if the sim doesn't crash for Kit Fort 32. So we're going to ride this out all the way to the gate, and then we'll do a cockpit review because I do want to honor him if the sim doesn't crash. So we'll land this. It'll taxi all the way to the gate. I might do some outside shots. I will no longer be talking, but I'll type to you guys in chat. Look, God bless everyone. Thank you for checking me out. Thanks for hanging in there. You're going to see 2 thumbnails for this stream. That's because the first one, the sim crashed, then I had to restart the whole computer. But this one picks up right off where the first one took place, so you will still be able to get the full flight tutorial, if you will. We didn't do all the checklists right when we should have, just because it was so busy, and I was hoping the stream didn't crash again, which it didn't. So there you guys go. I hope to see you on the next one. Thank you for all the likes, thank you for all the subscriptions, and thank you for all of the support and the comments. God bless everyone. We'll see you next time here from the Dre Sanchez YouTube channel. We will still finish this whole entire wing view, taxi into the gate, and then I'll do a cockpit replay for my man on approach, and we will sign off and call it a day. All right, let me get out of here. You guys enjoy the replay.